Hello, everyone. You have right here of talking about with this drawing right here. I have right here of this young girl right here, and you see this right here of talking about for disability right here. And I was just thinking as to where that I was working on this about 2 years ago, and I was just thinking as to where that go ahead and use this as an example right here of for what disability diagnosis usually means. And what does it usually mean for boys, girls, or whoever that what does disability diagnosis pretty much means right here? And we probably think it's just to where they talk about for disability knows right here. It's basically a diagnosis or disorder based on the fact about what the doctor had to say about what the diagnosis was. And so I went ahead and drew this right here. If this right here was an example right here, I'm talking about a little girl on her knees right here. So in case if we're wondering to where that, what does it usually mean whenever, whenever kids or anybody gets on their knees? And if they do get on their knees and like everybody might say that what are those usually signs of right there? Whenever they give you that look to where that pretty please if they ask you a question or maybe if they offer to shake hands or something like that, but still that when it talks about that whenever we start a conversation about something and maybe whenever it comes to understanding about emotion, like anything that's related to physical emotions or anything like that. And so you begin to wonder toward it, what does it usually mean whenever somebody gets on their knees or falls to their knees or something like that? And a lot of times it pretty much means is toward whenever you kneel on your knees, relax your knees and relax your if you kneel your knees and relax your shoulders, then chances are that this is your actual you're trying to it's like another way of how do you want to cause this to where that whenever it calls for pleasure, whenever you ask the questions, it seems like that the right moment in time. And I guess that's another reason for what you want to cause is to where a moment in time. But we're talking about that whenever you get on your knees and if you were to ask somebody a question though right here, but still that I'm using this right here as an example right here for for a disability right here. And we're thinking as to where that okay, disability pretty much means as to where that this is what the doctor had to say right here. You are in pretty good health otherwise, but still that what does that necessarily mean when we talk about being in good health and maybe about talk about for stipend money or anything like that? So anything that you try to understand, and but still that when we talk about for disability knows right here, so it's pretty much means as toward it that the condition of your health, you were diagnosed with a disability whenever you were young, but still your ability, your skills, and your talents and your ability for what but still that every time you do think about that and you're warned toward it that disability pretty much means is toward it something that you could have been born with. It's something that maybe that the doctor did diagnose you with. That's what they diagnosed you with based on the fact about if it's a family health history or maybe if it is a certain disorder or something like that. But still that when we talk about good health right here, that we might even want to know too that does that usually mean that that you've been eating pretty well, or does that pretty much mean that well you got you have problems with understanding things. You got problems with maybe with you know, understanding certain things, or maybe your ability to where that you're trying to see or walk, or maybe if you have a hard time hearing or something like that. And so, anything like that, right? And so that's why it seems that way to where that whenever you do look at that and say that, okay, yeah, what did the doctor had to say about that? But still, you see this right here of talking about with this girl on her knees right here, and I was just thinking as to where, yeah, are these signs that, yeah, this person's ability to where that they can, they have a hard time understanding things. They have a hard time, trying to, using their legs and using their feet, and then also they're having a hard time reading things, and they're having a hard time doing things. And I guess that's another reason why that you would say that disability knows, but still that every time you think about that, it seems that way to where they don't let that get to you too much. Yeah, don't let all that get to you too much. Don't let all that get to the facts. So yeah, don't let all that get to you too much. Think about what you want to put your mind up for, and like everybody might say that what you put your mind up for, you'll put your mind. Your mind pretty much means it's a goal, right? Anything that you want to achieve, but still that you may not your goals and achievements. You may not have it easy like everybody else. In case if anybody's wondering that you may not have it easy, like everybody else, and you begin to work toward it. Then why do you think that maybe if you try something new, then maybe chances are that you are going to have a difficult time learning those things. And what's one thing that really keeps you motivated about that? And a lot of times that you begin to learn toward it. You know, uh, one thing that you can think about is that yeah, that if you can maybe read and understand maybe a few quotes right here to where they talk about for disability diagnostics and all that. So everybody might say that if you were to read maybe the first two paragraphs of a sentence, or like, yeah, disability diagnosis, and talk about for disability disorder right here, made you different, from everybody else, and what does stipend money pretty much mean right here? Earned to what you were enrolled in for anything that based on educational resources and career opportunities, and also what the doctor had to say about that. So it sure seems that way that when we do think about that disability knows right here, it sure seems that way that to where yeah, it makes you different from everybody else. You have a hard time understanding things. You have a hard time working on incredible things or something like that. And so that's why it seems that way that whenever you do picture that in your mind and you're thinking as to where that you're going to go ahead and oppose to where that yeah, whenever you do get down on your knees and start talking about something, yeah, that's another way of how you want to cause this to where that somebody's saying, would you pretty please, or something like that. Pretty please listen, or pretty please, could I? I'm like, yeah, it's like a request, right? So, why do you think that anybody would maybe even think that anybody who gets on their knees is basically asking for, based on a request, or like they say, that how many of us would maybe even think that that those are signs that this person is disabled. They're disabled, and they are having a hard time understanding things, and they're having a hard time with doing things. And that's another reason why that you think is toward, okay, yeah, you go ahead and get on your knees, and so it's like, yeah, so whenever you do see that, by the way, and that you begin to work toward, okay, yeah, those are signs right there that this person has a disability. But still, that is that really going to restrict them from their ability for what they can do? And in case of anybody's word, toward it, well, it's a sign toward it. You just gotta take it easy, for anything that you put your mind up to. But still, that you know, the way you think about it, though, that you're thinking is toward it, yeah, a simple handshake or anything like that. But still, that why do you think that why do you think that this right here would show any sorts of meaning? Talk about for anybody with any sorts of disability right here. You're going to have a young lady right here on her knees, and like everybody might say that even if it was glasses or anything like that, anybody who was diagnosed for any source of disability of any kind, that you would see that right there to where yeah, they would be getting down on their knees, but still that why do you think that you would sit down on your knees like that, just to talk about something? And everybody might even say that those are signs of knowing as toward it. Yeah, this person right here, what they're really like. Yeah, if that's another way of how they meditate or something like that. Yeah, of how they're getting their nerves, how they get their legs, the feelings in their legs and in their arms. And like, yeah, it's a little bit of meditating, trying to get your legs to relax. And I think that the doctor would probably tell you that most of the time that whenever you do that, by the way, whenever you do whenever you relax your shoulders and whenever you do relax your legs, then chances are that yeah, that there's reading in the medical book, right? Reading in the medical, based on medical history, though, oxytocin, I think, is what it is, that to where that you can actually sense the person's feelings. You actually know what's going on with their body. If somebody were to relax their shoulders and relax their legs, then chances are that yeah, the doctor's going to understand what this person is going through right here. Like, yeah, you look at the way that their knees are relaxed and their arms and shoulders are relaxed, and everybody might say that, yeah, when we talk about that, about meditation right here, but still, that when we talk about what the doctor had to say about that, and you begin to wonder to where that yeah, that disability pretty much means that that's something that yeah, you were born with, or if it was due to an injury of some kind. And so that pretty much is to where that, yeah, what the doctor had to say is to where you are in pretty good health, but you have hard time understanding things, and that you do where that your diagnosis kind of gives you that ability to where that you learn things differently compared to everybody else. And so every time you do think about that, it sure seems that way, that it makes you so totally different than compared to everybody else. And so that's why it seems that way to where it yeah, the doctor might say is just toward it knowing about anything what you call like for that type of gift, though, is known as toward it what's one thing that maybe anybody else can probably get from you, and your ability for what you can do, right? And so but talk about if you say for disability knows